people? Welcome back to the Shitalk podcast, episode 4. I'm your host, Prince Diane, with your co-host, Espiritu Santi.
Oh yeah,
Now let's talk some shit.
get it. All right. So this week, we're gonna kick it off with just a quick little recap of what happened last week. We talked about relationships. We talked about, what happens on a first date. We talked about what happens, at your dinner table. Do you, take out the chair? Do you not? Do you pay? Do you not? Do you fart? Do you not? Blah 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 blah. Right? All the good stuff. And we got great feedback on that episode. And what we want to do now is that we want to add two females to our next episode, which we're going to do a part two of relationships, or actually two single females, or one single female, one female that just recently started a relationship, so that we can get the opinion and kind of tie back that show and answer some of those questions that all our male followers want to know, and even some of our female followers want to know. So I think that's going to be fun. And again, we'll add some talent to the show, and we'll meet new people, and we'll have new discussions. But this week, our episode is about fear. Okay. Yeah.
So, so scary.
It's super scary. So yeah, and we're not just talking about like the boogeyman fear, like Jason or who are the boogeyman?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot scarier people in the boogeyman. Like there's it.
It is pretty scary.
It's
A lot of people hate clowns, right?
clowns are horrible. You know they actually make pretty good money. Like the average clown makes like 60 grand a year.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it's actual profession. There's actually clown school and everything.
What?
Yeah.
Clown school?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
I know this, but
I went to school with a bunch of clowns, so
I mean, we live with clowns, so
we're technically clowns.
we're like halfway there to clowns. Yeah,
yeah,
but it's okay because we don't scare anybody.
Were you the class clown?
No, I wasn't actually. I was very quiet.
You were very quiet.
Yeah, just focus on my studies.
Grades. So I guess very quiet people usually start a podcast.
Or they end up as serial killers. One of the two.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Okay, the only reason why I mentioned that is because yesterday I was watching this thing called Mindhunter, whatever the hell it's called, on Netflix.
Oh yes,
pretty good show about the FBI, how they before, in the 70s, before they even had the whole behavioral analysis.
Yeah. Cool. Doesn't that show start talk about how that bureau was started?
Yeah, how they analyze and how they started coming into psychology and all that stuff. Right up your alley, because you're all about psychology.
So actually, I wanted to go into that field when I first, started in psychology, and I was like, damn, I want to go do that. And then I started reading the DSM, and I'm like, yo, I don't think I'll qualify for this. Like most of these,
you got scared
in this book.
Fear, baby.
It wasn't fear. I was fearful for other people because I'm like, I'm the crazy one here. Like I'm looking at all these things, and most of the stuff in here is me, self-diagnosing. And it's insane. Like you realize how many issues you really have. Have you ever read a DSM?
Yeah, everybody does. Everyone has mental issues. It is what it is.
All right, so I recommend everyone to check out that DSM. It's a psychology book. It's like the Bible for psychologists, and it gives you like every single diagnosis or kind of disorder and things like that.
You'll see that a lot of us, like a lot of people, have a lot of disorders that we're not even aware about, to be honest with you.
But yeah, you're not.
All right, so let's get back to fear. So what's up? What we got for today?
So let's just talk about, we'll tie it in a little bit. So last episode we talked about relationships. Well, let's talk about the fear of getting into relationships. Like, how scary is it, let's say when you're single, to go back out there into the market, right? Let's call it that, and start shopping for new merchandise, right?
Rough.
You never know what you're gonna get.
And the crazy part is there's so many different kinds of fears, because you have a fear of, okay, what if I don't find somebody? Then you have the fear of, what if who I find is not the right person? What if who I find is a serial killer? Okay. What if who I find...
And that's real.
Yeah, that's actually real. That can actually happen. What if who I find and, it works out great, but what if, FOMO? What if there's somebody better? What if I'm settling? It's crazy, dude. There's so much surrounded around fear. And I think a lot of our decisions, and actually sometimes our indecisions, are because of fear.
Yeah. That's definitely true. I agree with that. And you it goes back to, the saying that we talked about last week. It's cobita no la barre bien, right? The new
Yeah,
groom sweeps well. So at first the relationship's going well, and you're like, oh wow, I'm saved. This is the best thing. The next thing you know, you're in fights every day. You're on a mission. That person, is aggressive, and you didn't expect this, and those things are real deal. Like, I had a friend that, she was single for a while. She was probably single for like 10 years, and she finally said, "You know what? I'm gonna look for a boyfriend." Right. And which, that's another thing that I think is insane, that people actually go out looking
that's crazy.
for a partner.
I've always
Right.
found the less I look, it just happens to show up
It just
more.
happens. I think it happens
Has to be
naturally.
natural.
Like,
Exactly. That's the word.
you hang out with
Naturally.
your friends,
You can't
and then
force
you,
things, bro.
yeah, you can't. You
You
can't.
can't.
Isn't that, what I saw a little video on Instagram where the kid goes up to the dad and he's like, "Hey, dad, my girlfriend wants me to work out the relationship," and then the dad's like, "Really? What'd you tell her?" He's like, if you gotta force it, it's probably shit.
True.
If you gotta force it, so I'm like, and it's true, and it's true, and this is like a little kid talking, and it's, if you gotta force relationships, it's not natural.
Of course.
Um, but yeah, like, so whatever. The point of the story was that she finally, found someone,
Hmm.
and I got a club, I think they met, or a bar or something like
Oh my god, horrible, horrible situation. Well, let me not say that because I'm sure some of our viewers have found love in the club, but I'm pretty sure if there's a rap song about it, it's not good love. But anyways, go on.
Yeah. So that relationship turned up, like, even with violence. Like,
On the news.
no, I mean, it could have, but apparently, like, the guy was like super violent, and he
Oh
and he
shit.
beat her up. Like,
Oh shit.
yeah, straight up
That's not a
beat
joke.
her.
That's not cool.
No, of course not. So he literally beat her up, and she obviously went through the whole court situation, and he went to jail and all of that. But those are situations that, you only learn about those parts of that person the longer you're, in a relationship with them. And I think that's a huge fear, especially for women, because you never know. And men are, I don't know, because I've met some really aggressive women, but uh, the men are, I would think, are probably more aggressive than female are, right? Is
100%.
that, you think?
100%. Yeah, I
It,
would say so. But I mean, I think if we're talking in a general sense, yes, 100%. I think some of it also you may have some outliers based on trauma, past experiences. Some people shape their way of thinking because they feel like they have to be aggressive because of, again, fear of maybe someone taking advantage of them, or fear of
like
going back to a
cheating.
situation. Yeah, exactly. And piggybacking on what you said, it's crazy because imagine, like, that same friend of yours, right? I'm sure at some point she thought, this guy's amazing. I know everything about him. Oh my God, we're perfect. And look, you never really knew who he was. You never really knew his tendencies,
Nope.
right? So imagine you have to, somehow channel that fear and ignore it. I mean, what do you do?
Oh, you just gotta, I guess,
Push through?
rehabilitate and understand that not every situation is the same.
That's hard.
Of course, it's hard for anything.
Yep.
It's hard in any situation. But the and I know, again, we say, it's a difficult situation, but the only way to push through it is to just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Find that strength. And then you also got to have your friends,
Your
like,
support group. Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
we used to talk to her all the time, and we would, and this was probably about 15 years ago, 10 years ago. And we would just be like, "Hey, what are you doing this week?" And we would, like, invite her, get her,
Of course.
going
Get her out of the
out.
house. Yeah,
Yeah, hey, come over. Hey, let's go out. Let's hang out, to get her mind off of everything, because she was like, she didn't want to leave the house for months.
of course.
And then she was also embarrassed. So I felt really bad for her. But these things do happen. It's crazy. And I think friends really help the situation. They,
100%.
they can help. Some friends, they screw it up.
Yeah,
For
some just make it worse.
Yeah, you have some bad friends, you have some good friends.
Yeah,
But you'll figure those out quickly.
absolutely.
So yeah, so relationships are tough to,
All
come in
right.
and
So
out of.
there's fear in relationships, right? There's fear in dating.
Hmm.
So what are the aspects of a relationship do you think there's fear in?
I would say too, like having a kid.
Okay. Now, when you move up to different steps, right? I think in
Yeah,
every single different level, every different stage of your life, there's always going to be fear because it's the
yeah.
unknown.
Hmm. So imagine having like now you're you've been with that person, and
That
I
shit
mean
scares me, by the way. Having
I
kids, that shit scares the shit out of me. But not scaring the fact of having it. Scared that I'm gonna fuck it up. Scared that I'm gonna mess it up. That I'm not gonna be a good parent. That I'm not gonna do everything I could have done because there's no manual. Like there's no one tells you like, hey, go to page 37 for how to parent them at age 13. Like there's no manual for it.
Yeah, no, there's definitely no manual for. I mean, even though there's classes and you could always talk to people and always
That's
hear
bullshit.
suggestions, and you see really what other people did and what they went through, and then you try to apply it to your own life. But there's never
Doesn't
really,
really
like you said, there's never
exactly.
a go-to because every child could be different.
Exactly. It's not one size fits all.
There's
Exactly.
some kids that run on the walls. There's other kids that just lay on the sofa, watch TV, or on their iPhone because they have iPhones at 6 months old. And
For
they're
real.
like, okay, so crazy thing. So you see like the little babies and you see them like scrolling. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yo, you're like 6 months old. You still suck on mommy's boobie and you're scrolling,
You know how to
through
use
Instagram.
iPads, iPhones? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
How does that even happen?
It's crazy.
Yeah, insane. But yeah, you're fearful. And here's the other part to the fear of having a child is you also got to fear what type of environment you're bringing them into.
Ooh, yes. Very big. Very big. I
Yeah.
agree.
So you got to think a lot. And there was a study out there that talked about, um, I guess with millennials, right? They 'cause that word's been thrown around more in the last 2 weeks than I can imagine. Um, they talk about just, millennials not wanting to have kids.
Yes, I saw that study. You're right. 100%. They didn't want to have kids and they didn't want to buy a house. Those are the two things that they've kind of strayed from the previous generations.
How
It's
crazy
crazy.
is that? That's another
Yeah.
fear right there, buying a house.
Yeah.
And you better
Financial
be scared of it.
financial responsibility. I mean, these two things kind of tie into responsibility. So that's a common theme too. There's fear of added responsibility.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah,
you think is what do you think is a bigger fear driver? The fact that I'm going to be responsible for this and I'm scared I may mess it up, or you know, I don't want to take this on because what if it's not really what I wanted? What fear do you think is bigger?
I think A.
A, right? The fear
Yeah.
of messing it up because people are scared of failure.
Yeah.
We're all scared of failure, 100%.
Everyone. It's like rejection.
Yeah.
People go out with, or they're out there looking for their soulmate, right?
Yes.
And they realize, oh my God, it's not my soulmate, and now they feel like they failed, and now they're miserable because they really thought that that was the right one.
That's it. Just because Chad from Hinge doesn't text you back doesn't mean your life is over, people. Okay.
Exactly.
You can move on. There's other options. Think of it like a volume game. Okay.
Volume game.
Yeah, volume
Oh,
score. Never heard that in sports, like a volume score?
no, I heard it in
Remember,
stocks, but volume that may not be good.
eso mismo.
If your circulating supply is 1,000 a week, then
Hey, you need a big amount of shares to make a big amount of money, right?
yeah.
There you go. No, but I mean, what I mean by that is, it's like you said, you can't be scared, and just because one or two people don't end up being your soulmate, just not the right time, or maybe you're not in the right frame of mind for them or for that situation.
Mhm. So
People don't realize that.
let's talk about the other part of this too.
What?
So there's people that they don't even care who they end up with. They just have fear of being
Good
alone.
point. That's a big one too,
How
and they
crazy is that?
settle. But those people, I mean, God forbid, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody out there, show me I'm wrong, but pretty sure I'm not. But those people, you know, they end up settling, and they'll just end up unhappy later on or unfulfilled because they just want the company. But is
It
that
could be a,
company, really fulfilling later on if it's not really what you wanted?
I don't know.
At some point, you're gonna have a conflict of your heart, right?
Yeah. What about people that have like they get pregnant right away and they're not even in the relationship and they end up just by default landing into the relationship because they had the child?
Oh, yes, like a forced relationship kind of thing. See, that's
That
I don't
happens a
know.
lot too.
That does, I agree.
That happens a lot too. Like you've been with the person a month and then or 2 months and then not saying that the child's birth is a mistake but it wasn't planned.
Exactly.
Wasn't planned, and I'm also not saying that you're going to be a bad parent just because it wasn't unplanned. But these are situations that happen all the time, and now you end up in a relationship where you don't even know this person and you don't know anything about them. You don't even know really their family.
Dude, imagine
You know,
you literally skipped all the steps. You skipped the dating,
everything.
their family, moving in and living with them, which I think that's a big one.
I
Because
always
that's how you
recommend
know if you
people.
get along with them. That you
I
recommend people move in right away. Like
always, always.
just cut to
Yeah,
the chase.
cuts to the chase because you learn so much. Like if everything's happy, happy, joy, joy, if both of you are living separate, right?
Of
Oh
course, you
yeah,
have your
everything's so
space.
great. You have your
You
space,
can miss each other, all that good, all that cute stuff.
oh, the
Yeah,
cute little stuff. Oh my god, a text message here, there, a nude here, there, and then you keep it moving. But the nudes end once you start living together, right?
yeah.
You start living together and you realize, damn, that person doesn't, your significant other doesn't clean the kitchen. Hey, are you gonna wash the dishes or are you gonna cook? Like, which one are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Because there's got to be some type of agreement. Then it's, well, you leave your shoes and in front of the door every time. Why don't you take them to your room? Oh, I don't want them in the room because I want them here. Damn, you haven't cleaned the bathroom in 6 weeks. Have you ever cleaned the bathroom? No, I haven't cleaned that. Well, you got to be that. Who's gonna take out the garbage? It's just so much
It's a
to
lot of
think
stuff.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now imagine, and that's two working people. Imagine one loses their job,
Oof. It's rough.
all the shit talking, right? Then you got bills that you got to pay. And if you two ended up buying a house or doing anything like that, not even buying, just leasing a house together,
Yeah. Now what do
or,
you do?
or an apartment, then what do you do? Who's going to pay for what?
Yep.
And then you're like, yo, you better go find a job quick. And some people can't find a job that quick.
You can't.
So now you end up, separating because of finance.
And that's one of the largest reasons people separate
Yeah. You think, okay, so
is finances.
you think that is the same um as like, let's uh, I guess that's usually a big argument, but
Mm-hmm.
I also have recently
Mm-hmm.
heard the chatter of people saying like, oh, we're not on the same page. This person wants to be out in the street enjoying life. I just want to take it easy and start building my future.
Of course, not the same goals, not the same stage in life. Like what we were saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that happens a lot too.
Yeah,
Those people shouldn't be in relationships.
yeah,
To be honest with you.
yeah.
If you guys aren't on the same page with the same goal, then you know where you're gonna go. You're gonna go nowhere. The relationship is gonna go nowhere. There's
So what
always
do
gonna
you,
be a conflict.
so what do you do? Just separate?
I mean, you have to come to grips with the fact of analyzing, what do you want in your life? Okay. What you want is different from what that person wants. Do you want that person more than what you want in life? Or do you want what you want in life more than you want that person? Something's gotta give
Yeah.
because it's just the way it is. You're gonna have to sacrifice something. Life is sacrifice. Always.
Everything is about the sacrifice.
Everything.
And you know what? When I used to train people, I used to tell them that you, especially the younger generation, I'm not saying that I'm old, but at all. I'm not that old.
It's okay, bro. We get it.
Shut up. So the younger generation, they don't understand what sacrifice is, right?
No, of course
So
not.
they don't understand that, damn, if I party all of my 20s and all of my 30s, then that means that my 40s is when I start building my future for 50s, 60s.
You're
That's
fucked.
that you're screwed.
You're toast. There's no way.
You're behind. You're late.
Especially what if you die at 50? God forbid, knock on wood. What if you die at 50? You never built anything.
You didn't do anything and you didn't leave anything for anyone, right?
Exactly.
So like what I've been trying to do, and I would say probably for like the last 10 years, let's call it, is I've been trying to obviously enjoy my life as much as possible and also build something as much as possible so that I can, hopefully one day leave something to, my kids and say, hey, I worked hard to do this.
This is my legacy. Here I am helping you. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I don't just want to give them cholesterol, because both my kids have high cholesterol. So,
do they really? Or you just made it up?
Yeah, no, for real.
I believe like, Joshua though, because he just plays games and doing sports.
My daughter has high cholesterol too. The last time
that's a genetic thing. You can pass that down.
Yeah, it's familial cholesterol, something like that. Familial cholesterol is like the. But there's
it sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
Yeah, it does. That's
familial levititis lingosa. Or
yeah,
it's called.
Actually, you know what? Now that you say that, Joshua, when he was younger, we were watching TV, and he's like, this commercial comes up and he's, the commercial says whatever. And then I hear him say, mesothelioma. And I'm like, did he just, and mesothelioma is like some type of disease or something. Yeah, I really don't even, yeah, I don't really know what it is.
It's a cancer on your tissue of your or internal organs. Usually it hits your lungs and your chest wall.
Okay, so imagine, but they were
So,
doing a
oh shit, it's
commercial
serious.
about it. No, sorry, serious as well. So they were doing a commercial about it, and he says it like if it's a Harry Potter spell. Dude, I died laughing. I died laughing because he really didn't understand what he was doing. But
Of course.
um, let me see, familial hypercholesterolemia. I think that's, I butchered that for sure. But yeah, it is a thing, and you pass it down. Like it's crazy. Like my dad
Yeah, you're
had
right.
it, my grandparents. But anyways, that's another fear, right there. Like, that if you have something like a condition, you're gonna have kids. These things, your child may have it. So now
Hmm.
you're bringing a child into this world where they're gonna be sick in the future. They can have heart attacks at young ages.
That's a huge fear, to be honest with you. I get you on that one. Because I don't even care if the kids are ugly, to be honest with you, or if they're fat. I don't care what the hell they are, as long as they're healthy.
No, yeah,
Get me? Like some people are like, oh my god, I want to have pretty kids. No, motherfucker, I don't care if they're pretty. I just want to be healthy. Like I don't want them to have anything, any genetic issues, and much less, because it was passed down because of me. Like how guilty, at least personally, how guilty I would feel. Like shit,
yeah.
I give them a shitty hand
Hmm.
to start life with. That sucks.
That does suck. Yeah, that does suck. Um, what were we talking about before? We ADD'd it.
Fear, and we went off like 37 different tangents.
Yeah, that's crazy. But anyways, so finances. So
Okay, so yeah, there
you,
we go. That's where we were. Fear,
you
finances, and
yeah.
finances.
Then you got child support. Fear of divorce, fear of, well, now you got to pay child support, or fear of that you're either gonna have a crazy ex. Are they gonna have an issue? Are they not gonna be an issue? How's that separation going to be? Are you going to? There's just so much to think about. And I don't want to say you want to start a relationship thinking about the divorce, but the percentage
I
is
mean,
so high.
50% of marriages in the United States end in divorce.
That's insane, dude. That's insane.
One out of every two. For
That's
those of you
crazy.
that don't know math, it's that simple.
That's insane. One out
So
of
for those
every
of you
two.
that have married friends, find two couples and just know that one of them will probably end up divorced at some point.
Oh my gosh,
How horrible is that when you put it that way?
that's terrible. It's terrible. So
It's
why,
just crazy.
obviously the people are gonna be fearful of having a relationship when they see this happening all around them. You know, how many people are step parents? Think about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I
Even
agree.
people that don't have kids are step parents because they're
Yeah,
going into a relationship with a person that has a child.
yep, I
Like my
agree.
situation, I have two kids. You know, Louisa, she's a stepmom. So she probably doesn't even realize that, and she may be a step granny soon. Because I have older kids. So it's like, really, how crazy is that?
It's crazy, huh?
It's insane. But we don't really think about all that stuff.
We don't
But actually, what we were talking about was sacrificing. So when I used
sacrifice. There
to,
you go.
I know it all came back and hit me. I think
There you go.
the coffee just kicked in,
The
but
cholesterol shut down. Okay.
the cholesterol shut down.
Yeah.
So the I used to tell people, sacrificing at a young age when you're able to is the way to do it. So like I
Of
was
course.
watching a video and it was Grant Cardone, and he's
The
just,
man.
yeah, he's the man. He was just, walking by this whole group, a line of people, all, young people, 21, 20, 18, 22. And he looked at them and he tells the videographer, he's like, no, I at 25 years old, I stopped standing in those lines and I decided to um be more productive with my life and invest in my future, because if I wanted to have a family, I wanted to do it, I needed to start at that point. And it's something that people don't do. People are not willing to sacrifice when they're able to, and then what happens is when they're older, they're not strong enough to sacrifice, or they're not in a position where they can sacrifice.
Or they have more obligations, exactly like you mentioned,
Yeah,
and they can't sacrifice anymore.
yeah, they're done.
You can't take risks when you have kids and grandkids in the way,
You can't. You
or
can't.
you got a mortgage, you got car payments. You can't take a risk.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna get your car repoed? No way, can't do that.
So proper planning, right? As crazy and as that sounds, is you need to have some type of plan.
An
People
action
think it's,
plan.
yeah, people think it's crazy to, no, I can't plan my life out. No, I think you need to have some type of like idea of what you want to
Direction,
do. Yes.
direction, structure. You can't
Exactly.
just go about your day like, I'm just gonna go out, live my life. No, you need to
Going with emotions.
exactly. You can't
That
just be
doesn't work.
going with emotions because you just end up wasting time. And even if you're not moving backwards, if you're staying put, you're moving backwards because everybody else is moving forward.
Yeah.
So it's the same shit.
Yeah. So it's kind of like money. You leave it in a bank account there, and you're losing money.
Yeah, because
Don't leave it
inflation
in
is
the bank
higher
account.
than savings account
That's it.
interest.
That's it. It's true. It all ties, together, and it goes back to fear. But investment. Let's talk about that. Like people have fear of investing. That's insane. Look what's happened this whole week with GameStop. That is it Dodge or Deutsch? Like what is it like?
I thought it was dog coin because the meme is a dog, but I don't know if it's dog coin or I don't even know, bro. There's like a meme behind it, but I don't know. I'm
Whatever.
not
Point
that
is that
skilled
everyone's
at
going
memes.
in on this whole Deutsch or dog or doggy coin and all of that.
Yeah.
That's those are pump and dumps. They're scary, and then there's people that have zero fear and they're dumping mad money into that thing.
Yep.
Um, news alert. That's a pump and dump. It will go down. You will
Of
lose your
course.
money, literally. So I'm going straight off of Coinbase. It says dog doggy or dodge or doge coin is a cryptocurrency that was created as a joke.
Yep. Back in 2013, right?
Okay, that's literally the first sentence of the description
Yeah.
about that coin. Okay, don't
It's
invest
true.
in this. Don't invest in this.
Somebody just created a random coin, and
Yeah,
that's it.
think. Okay, so look, circulating supply 128 billion.
So much.
It's so much. Don't ever think that this is anything like Bitcoin. Think about that circulating supply that I just said. This is the amount of assets out there that you can purchase, right? 128 billion, I said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Compared to Bitcoin's 8.6 million, or I'm sorry, 18.6 million.
Huge difference.
Huge difference, huge difference. And that's why Bitcoin is at the pricing that it's at versus something like a Dogecoin, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So guys, don't fall into those. Focus on good investments. Do a little bit of research. I actually I started I've been now in the stock market like I want to say maybe 10 years, all right? Maybe a little less. But actually learning about it and trying to be more involved, I would say maybe 3. Would
Okay.
you would you say one was it?
I think more or less, yeah, like three,
Like
2 or 3
about 3,
maybe.
yeah, 2 or 3 years. And I've learned so much. And it's important to understand, how to invest and not be scared. Um not be scared to invest, or have that fear of investing because you're going to lose, right? It's okay. You'll have your days that you lose, the days that you win.
There's always a chance to lose, and that's in everything in life.
That's in everything. But not doing anything, you're losing.
Exactly. And this is something that you kind of brought up, but and I think this is the craziest part of fear is that if you educate yourself well, you can eliminate fear, but you can substantially reduce it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're making these, like, take the stock market for example, you're reading well, you're educating yourself well, you're analyzing charts and graphs, listening to the people that know stuff, you're investing in the right things, you're reducing that risk, that fear. You
Yeah.
can't eliminate it because obviously that's just the way everything is in life. You can't eliminate it, but you can reduce it. And I think that's actually the biggest key for people is do the research, get educated so you can reduce your fear. If you go into anything blindly without any knowledge,
You're
of
done.
course you're gonna have risk and of course you're gonna be scared.
And
And
lose.
you're gonna probably lose. Exactly.
Here, I'm going to recommend all our listeners go to this one video. And I've been talking about this guy for
Love this
months.
guy, bro.
Yeah, it's great. You know why? Because, I have friends that they told me, hey, watch this video. It'll help you get comfortable with the stock market when you start trading. Um, Oliver Velez. Okay, Oliver Velez. Go on YouTube, watch his videos. I literally saw every single video that he has out there, and it made me feel that much more comfortable with the stock market and trading and understanding how when to get in, when to get out, how to get out, and then tactics, strategies. It really helped me, and it's reduced the fear of losing money because I'm making smart moves that are calculated. It's not just a free for all. It's not like, well, I'm gonna go buy stocks right now. Like I've had people tell me like, hey, I'm gonna give you $2,000, just invest it in, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. And I would never do that for someone, honestly. Like I don't want to be responsible for somebody's money.
Of course not.
But you go watch this video and you can quickly turn $500 into $2,000 quickly. Like as quick as you could blink, it could happen.
I don't think anyone's scared of doing that. I've never met someone who's scared of making money. Well, no,
but listen, scared money don't make
money.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. So, that's the issue. And I learned that years ago, with a company that I had. Scared money don't make money. We were scared, we didn't invest, and we lost the business.
That's it.
So, but you learn from that and you keep going.
Of course.
So yeah, again, don't have any fears of anything. If you have fears, find ways to prepare to handle those fears. How to handle that situation where now you turn that fear into confidence in being able to handle that situation.
Exactly.
Right?
Reduce it to something you can now manage.
Yes.
It's not as scary. The fear is not as scary. You're okay with the fear that you have.
Yes. And then if you're living in fear, you ain't living. You're really not.
That's it. Look at quarantine.
For real. You're not.
Nobody was living.
Yeah. Nobody's living. You're in fear. And then fear makes you make bad decisions. Sacrifice. Don't be scared of sacrificing. And then have some type of, plan. Have some type of,
roadmap, action plan.
Exactly. You need to have that for everything.
Write it down. Visualize it. That should be on your mind every single day. That should be what you're striving for.
Every day.
Never lose sight of that big picture.
Yep. So
and have a support group.
Yes.
Have nice friends, support groups because no one's perfect. You're gonna have your down days.
Yep.
But you need people to, pull you out of the dumps. Where if you can text them and say, "Hey, I'm having a shitty day. Hey, come, let's go get a drink. Let's talk about it. Hey, come over. Let's chill. Have a cigar. Let's talk about it." You need a support group.
And those old sayings of tell me who you surround yourself with, and I'll tell you who you are.
Exactly.
Right. Analyze the people you surround yourself with. Are these people, helping helping you with your development? Are they helping you to grow? Are you helping them? Because it's not just about, receiving, but what are you giving?
Exactly.
Right?
What are you offering?
So all these things I used to preach and talk about when I was, coaching people, and it's very important, very important. All these things that you follow them and you never give up. You never stop. You can't. You can never settle, because that's the day you outdate yourself.
Yep.
It's like I think I wrote this in one of my posts. It's like an iPhone. If you leave an iPhone without updating, what ends up happening?
Shit gets slow.
It gets hacked. Your features don't work the same, or they're no longer supported.
Yep.
Right? You're exactly the same. We are exactly the same. If we don't stay up with the times, if we don't continue reading, learning, evolving with the times, you outdate yourself. In 10 years, when you lose your job, because right now I actually read a study that people are changing jobs every 3 years. A while back, it was 15 years. Then it went down to 10 to 5. Now it's like 2 or 3 years. People are hanging on to the jobs for only 2 to 3 years. That's already telling me that you're most likely, people are not vested, at all, because usually companies, it's like 5 years, I think, for you to be fully vested with them in any stock or 401k program. So that means that all of that's out the door, because they're not fully vested with their companies. So when are they going to retire? Never.
Yep.
Never. It's not going to happen. And that's why people can't retire.
They're always starting from zero. That sucks.
They're always starting from zero.
And that's shit. That doesn't scare you? That's a valid fear.
That's fear. That's fear. How many abuelitas out there are still working at 70, 80 years old? My grandmother was flipping burgers at McDonald's, from 3 p.m. to 1 a.m, just because she wanted to make extra money to be able to afford her bingo. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? I think finally now my mom tied her to the bed, and she
she has no choice. She's only allowed to go play bingo, and that's it.
That's it. Like, get on the little guaguita, and not even the guaguita, because she still drives over there. Crazy woman. Okay, so that's fearful. You got to have fear if you're going to Publix and my grandmother's in there. I'm going to tell you why. We went to Publix and, I'm telling my grandma, hey, what are we going to get? And she said, no, oh my God. And you see her with the, little cart riding around everywhere because she walks super fast. She's like the fastest walking old lady I've ever met.
That's awesome.
But you know what's not awesome is that her driving ability is not the greatest with those shopping carts. She was literally hitting people. She hit like 3 people at the Publix.
I think at that age, you just kind of don't even care anymore.
She definitely doesn't give a shit. She does not care.
I wouldn't care, to be honest, if I was that. If I was,
Yeah, what are you gonna do? You get beat up? You're gonna beat up an old person?
Yeah, exactly. What are you gonna do? You gonna hit me? I'm an old person.
Yeah.
I'll just fall and sue you or something.
Oh, you're gonna sue an old person?
No, I'm saying if I was the old person you hit me, I would just fall and I would just sue you. Like, how bad are you gonna look hitting an old person? Your toes.
Yeah, like viejito abuse. Yeah, that's terrible. That's also a real thing. How crazy is that? Whatever. Anyways, that's a whole other episode. Yeah, But yeah, my grandma. Be fearful if you see my grandma. I'll put a picture ad, a little like a wanted picture. So if you see this old lady in Publix, get out quickly. If not, you're getting run over. I promise you. But that's it. That's all we got, right?
That's it. That's all we got.
Keep it short and sweet. And thank you all again for listening to us on this episode. We're already on 4, right? This is 4.
This is episode 4. That's right.
How crazy 4 got here so quick. And I think we're going to speed things up a bit, right? Should we talk about that?
Let's tell them. Let's do it.
So, yeah. So go ahead. You break it to them.
All right. So what we're going to start doing, I know you guys love the weekly podcasts. Now we're going to switch it up on you in a go way. We're going to double your fun. That's right. 2 for 1.
Double your pleasure. Double your fun.
Isn't that like a Wrigley's commercial?
Yeah, double. Is it double mint gum?
Is that double mint gum? There you go. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So Sundays, 6 p.m. we'll be dropping, and Wednesdays.
Yep.
As well.
So Sundays and Wednesdays, and we'll keep them shorter. Try to keep them, around 30 minutes, so that we don't bore you. And so we can get, different topics in and talk about different things that'll keep you all entertained. So again, just feel free to send us over any comments, any, episode discussion or content that you would like us to review. And don't forget, we need the 2 females to join up with us for our next episode. We're still looking for the talent. So don't be scared. Don't have the fear.
Zoom. It's through Zoom, so don't worry.
Yeah, you don't have to come, and meet up with us.
Near you. Yeah, no. Don't be scared.
Yeah, and don't fear. Don't fear. Yeah. Prince D is here. Oh, what?
That's horrible.
That was a dad joke. All right, thank you all, and we'll see you on the next shit show.
See you guys then. Peace.
Bye.